on revolution.
Bookmarklets on standby.
Log online, fan page loaded and ready.
Player stats, loaded. Health check, go.
Weapons check. Ice check, complete.
We have launched for the Informant podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Informant Podcast, your news source for information regarding Mafia Wars from Zynga. Pistol Pete from Spockholm.
Live long and prosper.
And tonight I have with me Mig, Chainsaw Chester, Jana, Mig, Death by Gucci, and Jennifer, the Mafia Wars Loot Lady. How's everybody doing tonight?
Very good.
Good.
How are you?
I'm okay. Anybody doing anything really interesting since the last time we met?
We don't have time to do anything but play Mafia Wars.
Events.
And talk
all there
about
is.
playing Mafia Wars.
And trying to document all of this is becoming a full-time job. I don't think I can keep up.
You need sponsors.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go get a job.
Like
and I won't be
No-Dos
able
or
to
something
do
like
it.
that.
Yeah, no doubt. Red Bull would be awesome.
Red Bull, your official sponsor of keeping Jennifer, the Mafia Wars Loot Lady, awake.
That would be appropriate. Well, and it seems like all of us are busy with PAC talking about Mafia Wars all the time and all of our rooms and the show. Even when we're not playing, we're talking about playing or the meetups.
Well, I was going to not come on and talk about sports, but I got to give it to my Shockers. Wichita State Shockers won the NIT championship. So I got to give it up for the Shock. And then that's our Shockers made it into the tournament and pretty much made their way through pretty easy. Look, they were going to have a fight from Alabama, and it just didn't happen. So
Fizzled out. Awesome.
Yeah, so we won.
So, Pete, what's going on at Spockholm?
Gearing up for, obviously, the next round of the War Machine. And
Awesome.
we've got some stuff that I think will be really nice surprises for that. Now that a lot of these missions are coming out, and I'm sure Jen will talk to it some during her part, with boss fights incorporated in them, we've got a new Spocklet, and we haven't come up with a name yet. I kind of like the Boss Crusher, but basically it'll help you do your boss fights where, you know, it'll attack and then it'll go heal for you, and then it'll attack and then it'll go heal for you, and it comes in really handy, especially since some of these boss fights, if you actually get crushed and you come back, you've often found that the boss has gotten back up to full health even though they're not supposed to.
It's so annoying.
Yeah,
It
it's
really
extremely annoying.
I've had issues with
I had a 16K boss fight I was in. I got him down to less than 4,000, and I got crushed and came back, and he was back up to 16K again. And
it's
I said,
I can't even say how frustrating it is.
yeah, Martin and Ike have been working on the boss fighter bookmarklet. We've had one in the past for like Italy bosses and things like that, but we've kind of developed one a little bit more flexible. It shouldn't matter as much which way they come out with boss fights. This one should pretty much work with them all.
I have a question for you on that.
Yeah.
People that have the NGO mask, which reduces your health regeneration time by 20 seconds if you
Love that.
Will your new bookmarklet incorporate that so that players who have the bonus, it'll try to heal quicker?
No, not for the first round at least. One of the things
Okay.
we're really looking at is whether or not there's a way to find somewhere where the timer exists so that we can know what's really left. We go with kind of a standard that you wait 20 seconds until you try healing again. And then the other big thing, I'll allude to it because we talked about it off air and Jen was giving me a hard time for not mentioning it and so on. But we've built up a service called Spockon.me, and it's not open to the public. It might not be open to the public for a while, but it is something we are working on incorporating in the Link-a-Nator, the Get-A-Nator, and the Mugger to use in replacement of tiny URLs and bit.ly URLs. What the benefit will be is we should then not be dependent on these outside services for having limits on how many short URLs can be created in a day, so on. Link-a-Nator next to Repeat Job is one of the most popular Spocklets that we have, and it's tough that if we can't can't maintain that level of service for it, then we take a lot of criticism. And so we're trying to find the best solution, and we think by switching to this new service that we manage, and then we can unpackage these short URLs back into long ones a lot more efficiently with the Link-a-Nator, Get-A-Nator, and Mugger. So it'll take a little bit of time. We've got the service running and tested, but now we just need to work it into the bookmarklet so it's just as seamless as anything else that we try to do. So that's next on the Spock agenda.
That's going to look cool in the news feeds, too, because it'll be Spock everywhere.
That'll be cool.
SpockOn.me. But here's where I think the ultimate benefit comes in, is we're also filtering that service, that only Mafia Wars URLs can be used in it. So there'll be no more fear that somebody's going in there and jacking with outside URLs, claiming them to be mystery bags or special parts, and then you click on it and you find yourself at some porn site or something.
Yeah.
So we're not going to...
It'll be a safer way to click on those smaller links.
Yes, everybody can feel a lot more confident that the links they're going to go to are Mafia Wars URLs, and they're not going to have that fear in the back of their mind that this may lead to a virus or whatever else.
But that is a problem, because we preach never open tiny URLs if you don't know where they came from, and most of us don't know our Mafia members. You might know a handful of them.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't pay. I just click on them. And I've seen a couple clever fishers try to do that. Get 2 free reward points, click on this tiny URL.
Well, and if they make the name of the link similar to what we use for other things, then the Get-Nator, which reads either the stream or the statuses, is just going to pull that information, and it's just another link to it. It has no idea of what it is. Now, the safer way of even dealing with those is to cut and paste all those tiny URLs into the Mugger, because then the Mugger does the work, and then it never loads any code for the user.
Right.
So it wouldn't allow them to execute a link to something that they wouldn't be able to do. It would just tell them that they got an invalid link. So, I mean, there is some safety mechanisms kind of built into some of the stuff we've got put together, but this will ultimately be probably one of the safest for sharing links with other Mafia Wars players. And like I said, at some point, we'll probably open it up to the public that they can create their own Mafia Wars short URLs off of this service. But for now, we're just going to kind of lock it down, just see what the server load's going to be. We don't want to overburden the server more than it probably will be anyway with just general links. So
it'll be cool.
Yep, that's
Sounds
about
like
it.
Good stuff.
So, all right, Jen, you got to fill us in. What are you hearing?
Oh, lots of stuff. I wasn't here the last show, so I don't remember what I have or haven't talked about. But we're just getting slammed with event after event after event, and there doesn't seem to be any breaks coming our way.
It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, and I know we had a PAC meeting, and that was on the forefront of what was bothering people and players.
Yeah, well, I mean, clearly there's a major vibe going through the community that it's not that we don't like events, we just don't like them in rapid succession.
Right.
It just never feels like you can accomplish anything in this game. You finish something and then boom, the next day you have other stuff to do. And I don't know about you guys, but Brazil's really hard as far as the energy costs of the jobs.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I don't have a great pool of energy, but I level up enough where, if I need an energy refill, it's not hard to make happen.
I have a lot more than the average player, though. The average player is going to have a really hard time finishing Brazil.
I thought you were joking, and I thought it's the 4th or the 5th one. It's 250 for each one. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm so screwed.
Chester is totally
finally hit him.
And I'm pretty much.
What's going to happen if you get to the end and you don't even have enough energy to do one job?
Well, what's funny is that somebody said that at the end of this thing, there's nothing. There's no big win.
There's no big boss or anything.
No, okay, and I'm going to talk about that.
Okay.
What happened is we were given 65, yes, I said 65, brand new missions that are associated with Brazil. And in these missions, you have boss fights. So there's 5 bosses, 1 for each district, but they're incorporated into the missions. So when you do, you'll go through, a random number of missions, and then you'll get to the boss fight. So they're not part of the district per se, but they're part of the missions now. And, I don't mind. I kind of like boss fights when they work. So it's nice to have them there. But it just seems like 65 missions is a lot. And then they have a new limit to time mission as well that has some boss fights. Some characters from Manhattan will show up, in Italy and Las Vegas. So we got all these missions going on. We just came off of a gifting event, and then there's a new gifting event called the Brazil Smuggling Event. And that should be over, I believe, soon, like April 1st. So by the time you listen to this, it should be expired.
Which one was that?
The Brazil Smuggling Event with the weapons cache and contraband.
And that's ending this fast.
With the 3 gifts, yeah.
I don't even think I realized it was closing that soon. I have a lot of work to do.
You do.
Be up all night.
But the Spocklets have a way to make that easy.
Mm.
If you have a large mafia. But I feel bad for people that don't have large mafias and just want to play the game and rely on other players to send them things. And I've noticed with all these missions, you need those stupid join mission crew. And, you have to wait for someone to accept them. And I know some people it will work. If they accept one, they'll get credit. But a lot of people don't. And so players that don't have big mafias and can't take advantage of the things that we can, I don't see how they get everything done. And they probably don't. And to me, that would make me feel like if I couldn't finish something, I wouldn't want to come back.
Yep, it's tough. I don't think I'm going to be able to get through half of the things that are on there now. Since there are 60-something of them,